Did Israel manipulate the televoting system in the 2024 Eurovision Song Contest? This question has ignited a firestorm of controversy, giving rise to serious allegations of vote spamming and potential hacking. Fans worldwide are anxiously awaiting answers. Today we delve into the troubling claims that revolve around the suspected use of voting farms by Israel to amass a suspiciously high number of televotes. Critics argue that this alleged breach of electoral decorum, if proven, could massively undermine the integrity of the competition. The speculation is that Israel might have manipulated the televoting system, thereby influencing the final outcome in their favor. This is no minor accusation. If confirmed, it could reshape the perception of the competition and call for a rigorous examination of the voting process. The potential implications of these accusations are grave, serving as a glaring reminder of the need for transparency and fairness in every aspect of this prestigious competition. It is crucial that these allegations are thoroughly investigated, as they threaten not only the credibility of the Eurovision Song Contest, but also the trust of fans worldwide. But the plot thickens. Accusations also fly regarding the voting process. Some claim that there was an unusual pattern of voting from certain countries that traditionally do not align politically or culturally with Israel. This unusual pattern raised eyebrows, suggesting possible manipulation or a coordinated effort to skew the results. But the controversy doesn't end with just the voting. Behind the scenes, the atmosphere was equally charged with tension. Israeli reporters, known for their aggressive behavior, took their tactics a step too far at Eurovision 2024. They harassed and provoked artists and national delegations, intentionally causing physical confrontation to then use the incident to discredit the artists and their crew. Most notably, their behavior led to the Netherlands singer, Joost Klein, coincidentally a predicted televote favorite, being banned for supposedly responding violently to a disrespectful and intrusive Israeli photographer. This disqualification was a shock for the Eurovision community, who overwhelmingly sympathized with Joost Klein, but it was far from the only incident involving these Israeli troublemakers. Other artists, including the eventual winner from Switzerland and fan favorite Ireland, also faced similar provocations and mistreatment. Despite these disturbing incidents, no actions were taken against the Israeli delegation. Instead, these affected artists were basically told to shut up and refrain from any public statement, which they have now revealed weeks afterwards. This breach of ethics alone should have been reason enough to ban Israel from participating, this year as well as for the near future. But instead, the organizers overwhelmingly took Israel's side. As the competition heated up, so did the digital battleground. Hours before the grand finale, reports surfaced of a hacker attack targeting a Eurovision-related website. The timing of the attack, just as the final preparations were underway, raised suspicions. Was this merely a distraction, a smokescreen designed to divert the IT team's attention from a more sinister breach, perhaps in the televote system itself? This incident wasn't isolated. During the host banter in the first semi-final, a peculiar joke about hacking made its way into the script. Was this an innocent quip, or a premeditated nod to the chaos unfolding behind the scenes? As we delve deeper, the plot thickens, leaving us to wonder about the integrity of the voting results and the true extent of digital interference in the contest. Furthermore, there's talk about the promotional tactics used by the Israeli team. Reports suggest an aggressive social media campaign that not only marketed their contestant but also allegedly spread disinformation about other competitors. This, if true, could have tarnished the image of other contestants, subtly shifting public perception and votes. Despite receiving a surprisingly high number of televote points, Israel's entry in this year's Eurovision was not among the top 5 most popular entries in most countries that awarded them high points. The song, which was criticized for being bland and self-pitying, failed to make a significant impact on major streaming services, normally a reliable indicator of a Eurovision entry's popularity. This suggests that if Israel really did receive that many televotes from actual people with regular phones and not organized voting farms, they were entirely politically motivated. It's also notable that Ukraine, one of the most pro-Israel countries, did not give a single televote point to Israel, meaning it wasn't even the 10th most popular entry there. Could it be that they just forgot to cheat, or it didn't work there for some reason? And Ukraine's result is more indicative of the overall popularity of the entry in the rest of Europe? It must be mentioned that there's a pattern of fishy things happen whenever the contest is hosted in Sweden. The 2013 Denmark win, with one of the worst winning songs in recent history, felt rigged by many contestants and others involved. Some claimed their entries had been sabotaged by changing the staging several times and intentionally making the artists uneasy to ruin their performance. Moreover, there were rampant rumors that the Danish team had been seen acting as if their win had already been decided, and there are reports of Denmark already planning their hosting next year before the contest had even started. The next time Sweden hosted in 2016, when Ukraine won, pro-Russians accused the contest of being overly political, claiming Russia was the rightful winner, while it was clear that it was Russia who got points for political reasons, as they had made the whole thing about Russia versus Ukraine, and the Swedish organizers inappropriately supported this. It would take until after 2021 for Russia to be excluded, though they may not have been interested in participating anyway. The same rules could easily have been applied to Israel this year, once it was clear their participation was going to be political, being financed by Cohen, a heavily pro-war anti-Palestinian company. Even if the EBU had not decided to ban Israel before the contest, the Swedish organizers could easily have made that choice. One major reason for them taking Israel's side is likely that the main sponsor of the contest is the Israeli company Moroccan Oil, which would make excluding Israel problematic for their financing. While some argue that Eurovision should focus solely on music, the pro-Israel side views the televote results as an endorsement of Israel's policies. This stance has sparked significant controversy, especially considering the long-standing claims by pro-Israel advocates that the contest should remain apolitical. Yet when the voting results are favorable, these same advocates quickly interpret them as a political validation, showcasing a stark contradiction in their stance. Using Eurovision as a platform, they seek to gain international sympathy and support, turning what is meant to be a cultural and musical event into a battleground for political narratives. Eurovision has become a stage for international reputation and influence, where the stakes are high and the lines between culture and politics blur dangerously. And that is why the only right thing would be to retroactively nullify Israel's result. Their entire 2024 participation should be retroactively declared illegitimate. Israel's 5th place in the final result and 2nd place with televoters would be removed or shown with a disclaimer as invalid, retroactively disqualified in all official records of the 2024 contest. Everyone needs to be told through the megaphones of mainstream media that Israel cheated. That's what it takes to destroy its propaganda value. The current head of Eurovision, Martin Osterdahl, and everyone else in the EBU and the Swedish organizers who had anything to do with the cheating should be sacked. It's important to understand what's at stake here. It's not just about Eurofans having to suffer through another self-pitying entry from Israel that ends up in the top 5, or about enduring propaganda from pro-Israel advocates, as you can tell by the enthusiasm of pro-Israel fanatics over their televote results. The impact of Israel's participation and actions in Eurovision extend far beyond the confines of a song contest. By leveraging Eurovision as a platform for international sympathy, Israel not only influences public opinion, but also justifies its geopolitical stance, which is entirely at the expense of human rights and peace efforts in the region. Financially and politically, the investment by Israel in Eurovision is substantial, reflecting a strategic approach to cultural diplomacy that seeks to shift international views in their favor. This investment, however, has real-world consequences. It diverts the narrative from the pressing issues at hand, such as the humanitarian crisis and ongoing conflict in Palestine, to a more favorable image of Israel portrayed through glitzy performances and high production values. Each action, each vote, and each performance at Eurovision does not exist in a vacuum. They are part of a larger narrative that affects international relations, human rights, and how conflicts are viewed and handled on the world stage. If you consider how much they spent on this deception, you can conclude, if it matters to them, it matters to us as well.